wash day isn't always pretty. Sometimes there are tears, wiggles, and big feelings. But with the right techniques, patience, and a little love, hair time can actually become bonding time. Welcome to Mommy and Me, where we make hair care simple for busy moms like us. Hey y'all, welcome to our last Mommy and Me of 2025. I am so excited to be here tonight just to go over two-strand twists. We have finally approached the time where we can come and actually learn how to do styles. The first couple of Mommy and Me's has been about the background, how to wash, how to detangle, what type of products and things that I use. So if you're not familiar with that, make sure you go back to my YouTube channel, Ivy's Touch of Class, and make sure you watch the first couple of episodes of Mommy and Me, just so you can have a background. So as we're moving forward and we're doing different styles and techniques, you will be caught up. So as I said, tonight we are doing two-strand twists, which is one of my favorite low maintenance styles on kids and adults. So these techniques you can be able to use on your child or on yourself. And yeah, I'm not gonna hold you long. Let's get into it. So I have already washed my mannequin, detangled her, and she's still a little damp. Now I will say two-strand twists, you can do them on dry hair or on wet hair. It really does not matter, it's your preference. However, if you're looking for a style that shows your length, meaning that you want to show how long your hair is, then you might want to blow dry it first, then two-strand twist. However, if you're not concerned about shrinkage, you can do it while it's wet. But just be mindful that if you do two-strand twist while it is wet, there is going to create some type of shrinkage once the hair dries. So right now, it's looking to appear to be longer than what it really is going to be once I twist it and it draws up and it dries. So that's kind of the difference between the two. It just depends on what the client wants. I always ask my clients, do you want to show your length? Do you want to do it wet? Do you want to do it dry? And then I explain that same technique with them, and they tell me what they want to do. Most of my clients do want to see their length as much as possible, so we do start off dry. But for the sake of this tutorial, I am going to start off. She's not dripping wet, but she is a little damp, okay? Because this is a mannequin and I just prefer her to be a little damp. But as a base for a two-strand twist, you are going to need, of course, leave-in conditioner. We have the coconut milk leave-in conditioner and the honey almond leave-in conditioner, whichever one is your preference. The coconut milk is a water-based leave-in conditioner. So if you don't want it like a cream, the honey almond is like a cream base. It's thicker. But for natural hair and two-strand twist, the cream base is a good foundation, just because it adds a little more vulnerability in the hair as opposed to the wet base coconut milk conditioner. But you can use both of them if you want to, or you can pick and choose one or the other. When I do a lot of my silk press or a lot of my styles, I don't want the hair to weigh down, I will use the coconut milk leave-in conditioner. If I'm doing a natural style or protective style, then I'll go for the honey almond leave-in conditioner. So you want to do those two. And then another two of my favorite is the rosemary styling foam and the honey almond styling foam. I do not use creams when I do my two-strand twist. I never use a cream when I do my two-strand twist. To each his own. You can, there are curling creams and there are curling gels that you can use as well. But for my experience, I always like to use a foam. Now, the honey almond foam is my favorite. It's my number one choice. The honey almond foam is a medium hold. It's soft. It's great for like if you want to do twist outs and things of that nature. The rosemary foam is a medium to firm hold. It's a stronger hold than the honey almond. This one is good too, but it's infused with rosemary. So you just got to make sure that your child is not allergic to any rosemary ingredients, because some clients are allergic to rosemary, so I cannot use this on everybody. But they also have a coconut milk foam too that you can use. The coconut milk is the strongest hold of their foams. I don't have that one on hand because I generally don't use that one a lot. If I want an extra hold, I'll just use some firm holding spray on top of one of these, and it usually gives me the hold I'm looking for. But they do have a stronger hold, which is the coconut milk foam, and that one is going to give you a stiff, strong hold for your twist. So again, these are products that you can kind of play with to see like which ones you would like. But my number one go-to is my honey almond foam, especially for kids. Okay. So those are just the basis of the products that we use. I'm going to show you my technique, and like I said, you can play around with products and see what works best for you, and you can go from there. All right, now you want to always start off with sectioning off your hair the way that you want it to fall. So for this particular video, I'm just going to do a middle part. So if your child wanted their hair parted down the middle, you can do a middle part. If you want a side part, you can part it on whichever side. You can also always do the middle and just flip the hair to whatever side that you want to flip it to. You can do that as well. But I would suggest to just part the hair however you want to fall, and that's the way you're going to twist. Now, for the sake of this video, so it will not be as long, I don't know if I'm going to do the whole head twisted. You know, I don't know. We'll see. So once I section my part and where I want the hair to fall, then I'm going to create sections from ear to ear. So let me turn her around this way so y'all can see. And I'll bring her up closer. All right, so my part is in the middle, and I'm going to take it from that middle, and I'm going to part down. And then, of course, you want to have your handy dandy clips to make sure you clip the hair out your way. And what I do to one side, I'm going to do to the other side. It's always best to work in sections. It just makes your life so much easier, especially when you're working with kids. Always work in sections. So now that I have my two sections sectioned out in the front, now I have my back section that I am going to be working with. All right. You want to always start the nape. I will say a tip for kids and to help you at home with styling your child's hair. Do not look for perfection. I know we see a lot of these videos that circle around social media where your parts have to be straight and you have to get everything perfect. Listen, when you're dealing with kids, you only have about 45 minutes to get a style done, or their attention span is gone. Okay, so we want to work smarter and not harder. All that stuff is good, and it will come with experience. The more that you do it, the better you'll get and the faster you'll get. But please be patient with yourself if this is your first time trying it out. And again, they're kids. We're not looking for perfection. And I'm going to tell you another thing about kids. Kids don't care nothing about their hair. So if we are taking all this time perfecting the parts and perfecting all this stuff, and they go to school tomorrow and go outside in the playground and get in that sandbox and they got a head full of sand, what you think you're going to have to do when they get home? Take the style out and wash it again. I mean, I'm going to just be real and transparent with y'all, because it has happened to me where I done did this nice, cute style, and you went to school and it looked like you just tumbled in the dirt. And now I got to take this style out and redo it again. You understand what I'm saying? So we're not looking for perfection. We're just looking to get it done. Don't worry about your parts. And I can also show you how to do some designer parts, honey. It don't have to always be straight, okay? All right, so we're going to start at the nape. Again, I'm going to just part. And once I part my section off, I'm going to clip the rest of the hair out the way. And this will be my first section. Let me grab my spray bottle, because she's a little rough down here. I gotta get her wet some more and to get some of these tangles out. And this is the same thing that you might have to do. Even though you feel like you detangled it good once you get in these sections, it might not be as detangled as you thought. So just take your section. Always have your wide tooth comb or a brush handy, a detangle brush handy, to make sure you do this section. And if you need to know like what type I use, you got to go back to my YouTube channel to figure that out, okay? So again, I'm going to use my good old honey almond. One thing I like about professional products, When you invest in good products, guess what, y'all? A little bit goes a long way. You don't need a lot. So I'm just going to do, and this is a brand new bottle, about 3 pumps. You see how those 3 pumps just saturated the whole section? That's what we want. A little bit goes a long way. All right? So now that we do that, we are going to take a section, depending on how big you want your twist. And you're going to split it in half. So I got my first twist. Now, if you want to pre-part your twist, you can. Meaning, I could just go through each section. So I'll get about 4 down here for a medium-sized twist. If you want larger twists, of course, you can go bigger. If you want smaller, you can go smaller. All right, so I section off my twist. The key with twist is you need to have equal parts. So when you separate that hair into 2, make sure both sides are equal. You can kind of feel or part it right down in the middle so you know if your sides are equal, okay? So now I got my sides equal. I am going to make sure I detangle that section again, and I'm going to begin twisting. Now, the thing about natural hair is that as you twist, even if you don't twist like me, as you twist, the hair is going to automatically start coiling for you. So you don't have to worry about perfection right now, but I am going to show you how I twist. But if you can just simply get the twist across each other like this, the natural hair is going to coil the twist for you. So even if you're not a good person at twisting, if you just know how to get the hair wrapped around each other like a rope, the natural curl of your child's hair is going to coil it. As you see, as it's sitting, it's already starting to coil a little bit. You might not can see it, but it is starting to coil. So I'm just leave that one just like that, just so you can kind of see what it looks like if you just really don't know how to really rope twist, okay? But now I'm going to show you how I twist, okay? So again, I'm going to hold my comb right here. Now, this is not what you're supposed to be doing as a cosmetologist, but we are teaching mamas how to do y'all kids' hair. So it's okay to sit your comb down for right now, okay? Okay, and if my cosmetologist students know what I'm talking about when I say that, okay? So I am going to, now the way that I twist is I twist in, out, and then I cross. So twist in and out and cross. So I'm basically twisting in and out, then I cross over. See how my hand is going down? And I'm doing this one out, in. And I'm going to twist all the way around until I get to the bottom. And every time I get to the bottom, I always take my finger and take that last little bit of hair and twirl it around my finger, and then I let it go. And you can kind of see the difference between those twists. See, one of them is looser than the other one, which is fine. This twist right here is still going to hold, but twisting it that way gives us a tighter rope and a tighter hold. Okay? Now, I know if you follow me on social media, I talked about when I use rods at the end of my twist. Sometimes with kids' hair, their coils might not be as tight. So for this mannequin, I will say that this mannequin has a medium coil, medium coils. It's not really tight, which means that the hair really doesn't spring back up. So for this particular mannequin, if this was a client, I would add a roller at the tip. Although it is curling up at the tip, I'm thinking about the longevity. And a lot of times when the hair is softer or the coils are a lot looser, the hair needs a little grip at the end just to secure it. Because what's going to happen is this will last for about 1 to 2 days. But as the child or as the person starts playing around and doing stuff, they're going to start seeing unraveling if I do not secure it. So if your child has tight coil 4C, 4B, 4A hair, then it'll coil at the bottom, at the end for you with no problem. However, if they have a looser texture that looks like it's going to unravel, that's when I put a roller at the tip. So again, I'm going to twist And again, for like this particular texture, I would put a roller at the tip. And then I'm gonna show you how you can put your roller at the tip, okay? All right, now the size of the rollers, they do matter depending on the length of the hair. However, with 2-strand twists, I do not go any larger than a white rod, okay? So these are different sizes of your rods. You have your yellow rods, which is the smallest. Then we have blue, we have pink, and then we have white or gray. Gray, I forgot about gray. So I would not go any larger than a white rod, but I generally use the yellow and the blue rods to secure the twist at the end, okay? So I'll take my twist. Again, I wrap it around my finger like so. And I will make sure the tip of the hair is at the end. And then I will just roll it up, spiral a little bit, and then clamp. And leave it just like that. Now, one thing about this, and I'm going to use a blue one just so y'all can see. One thing about this foam too, it has quick drying time. So by the time you get to the front, and this happens all the time when your rollers break, throw it in the trash. I don't keep them. I throw it right in the trash and buy some more. But again, I roll this around my finger, and then I am going to roll all the way down to the tip, roll on top of each other, then kind of spiral a little bit and clamp it just like that. But again, like I was saying, with this foam, what it does is it has fast drying time. As you can see, it's already starting to dry where you can't really see it. So by the time you get to the front of the head, the back of the twist will be dry. But you might want to get a hooded dryer. If you're using rods at the tip, you need to have a hooded dryer, and they need to sit underneath the hooded dryer for at least 15 to 20 minutes after you finish the twist so that it will dry completely. It has to be dry completely with the rods in order for it to stay. It has to be dry completely in order for it to stay. If it's not dry completely, it is not going to hold, and you're not going to have a good curl at the end. Now, I would also say, I think I lost my train of thought a little bit. I was going to tell you something really, really good, but I'm going to keep going, and maybe I'll think of it in just a second, okay? So after I finish that, I am going to go to my next section. I'm going to part another section. All right, that looks about right. And in this section, I'm going to show you how I braid it at the roots and then twist it at the ends. Now, when do I use this technique? Sometimes people want it to look more like, as the style gets older, sometimes they don't want it to look, they want to look more uniform at the roots, meaning more like braids and tighter at the root and making it last longer. If you're looking for a twist out, so let's just say you want to do this on your child's hair and you want the twist to sit overnight, and then in the morning you want to take them out, then you would generally do it like this way, with just splitting the hair in half and twisting it and letting the twist go. If your child's hair is a very tight coil, you might want to start with 2-strand twists, just like I did this row. However, these particular twists in this form can sometimes get frizzy quicker, which is why some people prefer the braid at the root. So let's just say if you wanted to leave the twist in for 3 to 4 weeks, then maybe I would suggest, instead of twisting it like this at the root, to add a braid at the root. That way it just lasts longer and it looks more in place and more put together. If you start it like this, it'll start looking like more like a starter lock kind of look as it gets older. But I would say try it both ways, see which way you like better, because some of my clients do opt for just a twist like this, and it does last them 4 weeks. However, some people just like the look, a cleaner look as far as at the root, so they will do a braid first. All right. Now, when I do a braid first at the root, I typically will use a little bit of braiding gel, just to make sure that it looks really crispy at the root. And this is my braid gel of choice, the Braid Lock and Edge Gel from Influence of Sea Moss. So I will put a little bit of that at the roots up here before I apply any of my mousse, and I will start at the root and I will braid it, and then I will use a little mousse to twist it down the end. I will do it a little bit for you all on the mannequin, just so you can see what I mean by that. And then the other ones I just use the foam, but you can use foam too at the root. But again, if you're looking for a more uniform twist, more like a box braid or more like a protective style, you might want to use a little braid gel. So again, I'll take my section and I'll teach you really quick how to brick lay. So a lot of times brick layering is putting braids in between the sections from the row that is underneath you, if that makes any sense. So because I parted here on this row, when I come up to this row, I'm going to part in half of the first one, and then I'm going to part in half of the second one, and then that's going to cause a brick layer, which means that wherever the part is at, there is a twist that's going to cover the part, and it makes the style look a lot fuller. So that's a trick too for braiders, that if they want the style to look full, and it looks like braids are all throughout the head, it gives the illusion of a fuller base. So that's what brick layering is. So I will brick lay this a little bit. So I got a little bit of my edge gel. And again, I'm just going to apply it at the base of the braid. And then I'm going to comb it through. All right. Now, to braid the root, you are going to, let me put you a little bit closer. So to braid the roots, you are still going to split the twist in half. This is one section, but then this section, I'm going to split that in half. So now I have 1, 2, 3. These are going to be uneven parts for braids, but when you bring it back together for the twist, it's going to come together, okay? So again, I'm going to do that again. Comb it. I'm going to split it in half, like that. So now I have my 2 halves. But now I'm going to take one of those halves and I'm going to split it again. And that's going to leave me with 1, 2, 3 to start my braid, right? Let me get my mousse handy because I'm going to need that. All right. So now I have my, I have my 3 pieces. So 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to start my braid. And I'm going to do it about 3, 4, 5, 6 rotations. And now I'm going to come back to those 2 small pieces that I had, and then my 1 large piece that I have. I'm going to bring them small pieces together by doing a little twist, like so. Now that I did that, now I'm ready to twist the other 2 back. And now I can add a little pump of my foam. And I'm going to twist the remainder of the section. And then when I get to the end, run it on my finger, boom. Now you have your braid. Now, can you tell the difference between a braided root and just a twisted root? You see how loose the twisted root is? Now, as it dries, it's going to get a little bit tighter, but this just gives a stronger hold at the root, and it will last a lot longer in the hair. All right, I'm going to do it again. This time, I'm going to do it a little bit faster. Okay? So, again, I'm going to brick lay. I'm going to part right in the middle of that twist so that this twist can lay right here in between these 2. So it looks full. You won't be able to see the part. That's what we call brick layering. So I'm gonna take a little bit of my braid gel. All right. I'm gonna comb it through. Once again, divide it in half. Then divide one more section in half again. I got my 3 pieces. I'm gonna rotate about 6 times, I think I said. So let's say 1, 2. Hold on, grab some hair somewhere. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I'm here with my thick piece, my 2 little pieces. I'm gonna bring them together. And then I'm gonna twist on top. Now some people take those 2 pieces and just put them together. That may work for you. It does not work for me. I like the way that this looks. It just does better. It gives me a uniform twist. And this is how I've been twisting. So I'm gonna teach you how I've been twisting. But again, you play with it and you see what works for you. So now I'm back here. I am going to separate in half again of that twist. Comb it, braid gel. You see a little bit of braid gel and cover about 3 twists. All right, split it in half, and then split 1 half in half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bring them together. Now I got 2 pieces, a little pump of foam, and now I'm gonna twist. And there you go. I'm gonna finish this section out and then I will be done with this video. I hope you all really enjoyed and I hope you really learned something, which I know you did. Maybe the next class I can teach you how to maybe add hair with twists. I don't know. I haven't really decided what I want to do yet for the next class. I'm gonna figure it out because that will be in January. So again, half again. As you see, I'll get a little bit faster because I'm used to doing this. So little pump. Kind of give yourself a little patience too. When you're starting off, don't judge it while it's wet. Wait until it completely dries. I guarantee you, the coils of your child's hair is gonna make this style look so much better once it's all dry. Once you get it dry and the hair is molded how you want to, it will look fine. So as you're twisting, do not stress yourself out. It's not looking like hers. I can't get it. Wait until the hair is completely dry. You also need to invest in you a hooded dryer. Make sure they have a hooded dryer. Send the hooded dryer at least 10 to 15 minutes after any style, using the mousse to set the mousse, and it will give you a better hold. You cannot let it air dry. You have to give it some heat because heat is going to help activate the product. Okay. Now this particular twist, I did not use braiding gel. I just used a mousse during the whole thing, just so you can kind of see what it looks like to use mousse at the base. So I'm gonna braid this one as well. So I'm gonna split it in half. And then I'm gonna split it in half again. Now I have my 3 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bring it back together. And now I'm gonna twist. And notice I don't have to really add any more foam because I already added it from the beginning. So you can use foam. You don't have to use braiding gel. You can use foam. And voila. Now, just as a disclaimer, I use honey almond foam. If you try to use any other foam, I'm not sure if it's going to look like mine's. Okay? Just saying. Because I have ran out of foam and went to the store and tried to get me some other foam. It don't do like honey almond. And after that day I tried that, I said I'll never do that again. I'm never cheating on honey almond. Okay? Because it just don't work. It don't work out for me. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you learned so much. I am so excited just to be able to pour into you. And until next time, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, share it with somebody, because we're trying to save the mommies some coins, okay? I'm trying to help y'all save some coins because I'm a mother and I know how it is, okay? I love y'all. Bye.